Today we're going to demonstrate another one of our geometry cleanup tools, and we're going to use it to clean up what we call NURBS data. Now the reason why you'd want to do this is that quite often if you're importing a model from a CAD file, what appear to be straight lines or arcs are actually NURBS curves. And that's not bad in itself, except that it may take longer to compute the field solution. We have to compute a numerical derivative on a NURBS curve, where we have analytic methods of handling straight lines and arcs, and also the NURBS curve takes more memory, computer memory, to store. So to show you how to do that, I've deliberately taken a model which originally had only straight lines and arcs, and I've broken up some of the arcs and some of the lines into subsegments, and then I use the endpoints to define NURBS curves. So we'll activate that command, geometry cleanup NURBS data. Now the program asks you for a tolerance. Basically, this is a tolerance which says if you find 2 points that are closer than this tolerance, you consider them to be the same point. So I'll accept the recommended default of 1e minus 8. Then the next thing it asks for is a percent tolerance for data reduction. That takes a little bit of explanation. If you see points that appear to be on a straight line, they may deviate slightly from being on that line. So we have to have a test to determine whether or not it's just an imprecision in the CAD definition. So for our purposes, we'll assume that if the distance between a point and the line which has been defined by the endpoints of the curve is less than 0.1% of the length of the line, we'll consider that point to be on the line. So we'll accept that 0.1. Now the program has detected the first case where you could eliminate this NURBS curve and replace it by a straight line. And it's asking us, should we convert it to a line? Y for yes, N for no. A for all would go through and correct all of them as it found them, and we could just skip it if with an S for skip. I'll go Y for yes, and it found the next case. And now I'm just going to enter A for all, so it will correct all the other ones without asking me. You notice that it has fixed up the straight lines, but the arcs were not fixed. And that's because when I broke the arcs up into sub-arcs and then connect them together as NURBS, the 0.1% tolerance is too strict for the points defined by the freeform curve. So we can run the command again with a looser tolerance. So we'll go geometry, clean up NURBS data. I'll still use the same length tolerance, but now I'll use a tolerance of 1% instead of 0.1, just to make sure that it will fix up all those arcs. So now it's detecting those points are within that tolerance, and the program will make an arc of that if I say yes. So I'll enter Y for yes, and I'll do them all. So as I mentioned, this is a very useful command for simplifying your models. If you clean up the NURBS data, freeform curves that could be straight lines or arcs, if they're defined as NURBS curves, they will take up more memory. And as I mentioned, they will lead to longer solution times.